There you go. How's that? That's better, I guess. At least you're in focus. That's that's more than I'm doing. Oh man, yeah. So you didn't have a specific answer as far as like, is there an actual song that you can do without hearing, or you don't want to answer that?
Well, I just
Like,
won't listen to it. I mean,
yeah, okay,
I
right,
know.
right,
No, I don't believe in bashing other artists. I want to, even if they're bad, like I'd rather inspire them to be better rather than just
right.
put
Not even a
put them
bad
down.
song. What about a song that's like you've heard like a million times, like "Happy Birthday"? Damn you, freaking happy birthday! I don't need to hear you anymore. That's freaking Christmas
um,
music. Do you hate it when artists do Christmas albums? Does that piss you off, or you're like, oh, that's cool?
yeah,
Like
I could do
freaking
without a little bit of that. I
Bob
mean,
Dylan
that's
did
kind of.
Did you hear Bob Dylan? He did
He did a
Christmas.
Christmas album, really?
You
Let's
don't want to.
see.
It's funny to listen
Just,
to. Yeah, he's like
yeah. I
he's
mean, I think
jingle
yeah, cash,
bells.
because to me, that's not. A lot of the times that artists do that, it's not because they,
They want to make
really
money,
believe in what they're saying. It's like a
right?
cash grab for them. It's like the season's coming up, and it would be really cool if we had something Christmassy to sell to people. Like, I don't
Right.
think that has a place in art, but that's me.
Yeah. I agree. And people need to make money. I don't know if Bob Dylan needs to make more money, but maybe he does. I don't really know.
Well, you can still make money in other ways. I mean, write better songs then. Like,
Right.
you
That's one
know
thing
what
he
I
does
mean?
do. He does do
There's a different
write good
focus.
songs. Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. Hey, so let's talk a little bit about that. So you started as a musician, as a bass player, or
Yeah, yeah.
and
I started. I've been playing for a long time. My mom's a violin teacher, so I got a bit of that.
did you
I
play the stand-up bass too, like in the orchestra, or
No, I didn't. I would have liked to, but like we didn't have access to that in school. So I actually played. I played baritone, or is it tuba? I kind of moved around a little bit, but I mostly played bass in school as well. I mean, that was always my passion. I always liked just the sonics of how rich the bass was, and I don't know. I
that's
grew
cool.
up with Motown as well, Motown music. So like, James Jamerson is like God to me. So I mean, yeah, I definitely started as a bass player, and then I went to school for engineering in Toronto, and then I got lucky and met some really good people early on that took me under their wing, and I absolutely owe a lot to them. That I met people in the industry that didn't think like 99% of other people in the industry, and I was really lucky because things happen in the music industry that lead people to get jaded very quickly,
Yeah.
and I got screwed over pretty bad, and without having those people there kind of saying that what you can push forward, and don't lose faith in what you're doing, I probably would have quit. I mean, it's some real douchebags in the music industry that
Hmm.
aren't very talented and just try to milk other people's creations, and use and abuse and reject
Yeah,
and
that
throw
happens
away.
in film, music, in the all
Yeah,
yeah, TV,
exactly,
all
and
that
in a
stuff.
lot
Yeah.
of creative endeavors, and that's because
Uh,
artists need to be artists, and they can't be focused so much on the business aspect of it. But I learned that if you want to be a really good artist, yeah, you have
yeah.
to have that side of it figured out as well. I mean, you have to give yourself that freedom to not have to worry about money, but also demand respect and demand to get paid well for what
Yeah,
you
and
do.
it kind of sucks because a good artist is gonna be independent artist gonna be have a hold on the music or the film and as well as the business. But really, to do all of it, it kind of even if you do it well, there's only so much time in a day, and the more time you
Yeah.
have to spend on both, when something suffers. I think, and I think
Yeah,
that
it's a tough balance, man. It really is. It really is.
it
So I mean,
really
that's why having for artists that really just want to be artists, like having a manager is important. I like to represent myself because I want to be represented a certain way, and I want
mm,
to have full control over
you
that.
don't
I
have to
don't
worry
like
about
people
trust issues
talking
either.
for me.
Unless
What's that?
some days you don't trust yourself. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm saying you don't have to worry about trust issues
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
unless you're into recreational habits. Coffee, I think, won't steer you wrong.
No, coffee is
Maybe
enough.
coffee is enough. But all right, cool. So you play what? How many instruments do you play? You play the guitar. You play a little keyboard, piano. You play the tuba,
Play drums a little
drums.
bit. I mean, yeah, I had a drum set, a really nice drum set up in my older studio for a while, and I go through phases. It's kind of weird. Like right now I've kind of been playing more guitar, but then I'll go through like 2-3 month phase where I'm like practicing bass technique like crazy, and I'll play lots of funk jazz and really push my technique, and then I'll get bored of it, and then I'll switch over to guitar.
Hmm.
And actually recently I've been doing a lot of stuff with using the DJ setup, but doing like live jamming with instruments and that kind of thing. And I'm still figuring that out. I mean, I just got this guy about 2 weeks ago, and I'm really digging what you can do, like the marriage of the technology and the analog world, like using the MacBook Pro software and using like the pedal board setup to feed into that, and really getting the best out of both worlds, I think is really cool.
So you're trying to say we're a long way away from MIDI, using MIDI. The days of using MIDI. I remember those days.
No, actually, you
Oh,
know
do you
what's
still use
funny
it?
is that, I mean, everything is still run on MIDI. Like
Yeah.
this guy this guy actually takes is the master MIDI clock, and it sends out to my analog pedal board, because some of the pedals on there are actually MIDI clocked to tempos. So actually, like the entire, like this guy is feeding into this guy, and this guy is feeding into this guy, and all the pedals are feeding into this guy, and it all automatically syncs, so that when I change the tempo on this, it changes it globally for everything. It's
Cool.
kind of cool.
Just jumping in with the audience, Leo Allen in Toronto said, what you said about dubstep, he agrees. Sampling to him is kind of cool and fun, but create your own. And
Yeah, I firmly believe in that.
and yeah, no, Stenger, of course. Stenger's in Lebanon, Ohio. Yeah, of course he is. Why? What's the difference? Everyone knows Mike's in Ohio. I don't know why Bobby Joe's getting upset. Mike's in Ohio. Leo's in Toronto. I'm in New York. She's in Minnesota. Oh, Leo's in Ohio too? Or, okay, I'm confused. Either way, it doesn't really matter where they're from. They're good guys. I mean, it's not important. They have questions. Yeah, so he said sampling is kind of cool and fun, but he wants people to
Because you
create their
said
own.
Toronto, he's in Lebanon.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Alright. I didn't. Okay.
So much confusion for nothing.
I didn't. I said Mike is in Toronto. I don't remember saying that. Okay. Anyway, and then Leo also said he thinks the problem that comes into play when artists walk into music with only a business mindset. I think that's what's been killing hip hop for years. So sorry, Bobby John. I'm just confused. That
Well,
was a bit-
I don't know about that. I mean, like,
right.
I think I think a lot of hip hop is a little misguided in how artistic it can be, but there's also people in hip hop that are pushing forward in a lot of creative ways as well. So I mean, you can't cast away an entire genre, but I do agree by and large, like a lot of the hip hop is, yeah, it's set up to be a cash cow for people, and to be, it's kind of like that's the street cred, and then you can build like a merchandising empire on top of that. I mean, a lot of rappers have done that pretty successfully.
But as far as the equipment goes, you've gathered a lot of equipment. You're talking about MIDI. You're talking about this new beast you got that you use to you make mixes and you do a little bit of scratching, little DJ stuff that you mess around with, or you do more than that. Someone did Mike Stenger of Lebanon, Ohio. Also, Leo Allen is from Lebanon, Ohio, not the country but the city. We're asking about. Mike was asking about your equipment. How much money? Am I pronouncing it wrong now? Shit, geez, Louise, I can't win. I can't winning. So, how much? How much? I'm here to talk to Lucas Johnson. How much is your equipment worth? Like, you don't tell us how much it's worth, but you've gathered a lot of equipment. You have a lot over the years. How do you go about gathering equipment? And I know you have a whole area downstairs with tons of equipment.
I mean, this is about a third of what I have, and I mean, I kind of like rotate stuff in and out, and all depending what I'm doing. There's lots of different things that I've done for that. I mean, I try to, whatever money I make, I try to reinvest it into what I do as well. But I started working as an engineer at a pretty good studio that I got linked up with some cool people. One of those people I do a lot of work with, so I do like exchanges for gear, where I'd engineer stuff and they give me like stuff at cost. And I think that's a lot of it. And even sponsorships, I'm always looking out for those, and I mean that brings in gear as well. So lots of different things, lots of trading, lots of doing work for gear, and just outright buying it. But a lot of it is no, I can't say that a lot of it. It's pretty much all over the place, in terms of where I'm getting it from. Yeah, in terms of monetary value, everything together,
We're
I think
talking
I
thousands.
calculated it like roughly a little while ago because I was doing like a for insurance purposes, and it's roughly, if I add everything together, it's damn near close, if not more than a brand new, pretty expensive vehicle.
Right.
So it's a little yeah, it gets a little
It's in the
crazy. I mean, especially
five
when you
digits or something like that.
in the higher five
Higher
digits. Yeah.
5 digits. Okay, cool. So we have a lot of questions, not just from the live audience, but also from I asked for questions from G Plus from the stream, and this question comes from. It's actually called the G4. It's sort of like a G4. I'm not sure if it's a real G4, and a G4 is a rapid series of rapid fire questions from Jake. I'm going to say his name wrong. Jake McQuestion. Is that how you say it?
Hmm.
Did I say it
I'm not
right?
even sure, and I
You're not
talk to
even.
him all the time.
It,
I like.
you know what's great
I
about
just
your
say
name?
Jake
You
all
know
the
what's great
time.
about Lucas Johnson is that it's easy. Bobby Joe Woods and Matthew Rappaport is that
Yeah.
I can say those names without screwing them up. Everyone else,
Yeah.
good luck. I love you, but let me just call you by your first name.
I'm
Jake.
sorry. I'm sorry,
Jake.
Jake. Your last name is so messed up that I like.
I mean, it's
We
you got two
we poke
eyes
fun
in your
at him
name.
all the time for that too. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's crazy. Which do you prefer, new sound or old sound?
Ooh, a little bit of both, but I'm partial to old sound. I like minute amount of distortion on everything. So
Motown.
like 60s records, I like how they have character to them like that. I'd say old sound.
Cool. Who has it better? I don't even know what this question means. Maybe you do. Who has a better I can't say that word now. The eyes are killing me, Jake. Influential edge of your seat, life of fame and prosperity, or peaceful, casual, normal life? Which life is better? I guess it's kind of that's
Well,
specific
okay.
situational.
So what was the first one again?
Uh,
Yeah.
influential, edge of your seat, life of fame and prosperity, or peaceful, casual, in quotes, normal life. I don't know if you got
I
all
don't,
that.
I don't, I don't do the peaceful casual thing.
Yeah, we're too
So,
high
yeah,
strung for that.
yeah,
Uh,
it's kind of counterproductive to what I do if it was that peaceful and quiet.
yeah, so maybe a comment, maybe more the first one, but maybe not like I don't know.
Yeah, not as hardcore probably, but well, no, I can't
You
even
still
say
have
that.
your
I mean,
beard. Your beard
I
is
like to
hardcore.
rock the boat. Yeah, and I mean, I like pretty much decided on a whim to drop everything and move to a different country and very far away. It is. I mean, I firmly believe in you trust your gut instinct no matter how crazy it is sometimes. So.
No, I say go for it. I'm thinking about moving to LA myself from New York, so and then
Yeah,
I'll be out in
like I mean,
California
if
too.
it's like, man, you gotta trust your gut instinct, and yeah, I just
Cool.
gotta do it.
Memory test. Which is faster, Python or Java? Java.
Oh,
I guess this is
I'm
an
not even
actual.
sure.
Is this a
I'm
quiz?
not a very tech.
I don't.
I'm not a
Yeah.
tech person. I think I don't even.
I don't know what the right
It's
answer is, Jake. This wasn't meant to give him a test. Is this from a meeting that you had or something? This is an easier one: Mayo or Miracle Whip. And I thought Miracle Whip was mayo, but maybe it's just a fake mayo. I don't know.
Neither. I hate mayo.
He
I
hates.
never
There's
put
your
it on
answer.
anything.
That is.
Absolutely.
You hit that one. Mustard. You're a mustard guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Re-
And what's funny is that I actually, on sandwiches, a lot of the time I'll put mustard and honey mustard in combination. I
to
really
give it
like
a sweet spice. Cool. Music today, revolutionary or evolutionary?
Generalizing is very dangerous. I'd say a lot of it is evolutionary, but there is some revolutionary music that's happening.
Cool. Yeah, Jake is trying to throw you some curveballs here. I don't know. Ideal.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's
That's
cool.
why I like it.
Yeah, I like them too. Ideal or person who inspires your music the most? I think a lot of people are asking about that. What music, in currently times it says what music would you play and why, play it on the air, blah blah blah. But I guess what inspires you the most? What music do you like to play the most? Maybe those answers are different. I don't know.
Yeah, like in terms of what inspires me the most, I really like, I've been a huge Trent Reznor fan for a long time. I love just about everything he does. I
Cool.
really like some of the new soundtrack stuff that he's doing. Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, always, I mean, they're just, they're guys that are a singer and guitar player, writer for Radiohead.
Yeah.
Um,
There Will Be Blood he did, and then Social Network for Trent Reznor. And I think Trent Reznor's doing some more stuff too.
And Hans Zimmer too. Like Hans Zimmer is absolutely fan. Yeah, like some of the.
Would you
wow.
you like scoring? Like I know you like scoring videos.
Yeah.
And maybe you do. Now you're moving to California.
Even
you do
when
some
I write
movies.
music without, yeah, even when I write music that's not specifically for video, I kind of approach it with that mindset a lot. And that's something that I got from Trent Reznor. That when he composes music, he thinks of like a place, like a scene, and he writes to that scene, to that visual. And I really like the idea of that. Like really, instead of doing the verse chorus thing, you can come up with like section A, B, C, and then kind of throw it around and do different scene changes like that, rather than having a like solid structure where it's like it has to be verse chorus, breakdown chorus. Yeah, anything to trigger creative ideas and stuff like that. So
Hey, real quick, do you have any?
Oh, yeah,
we have a
I
lot
see
of
that.
surprises
Hold on.
going on. I just wanted Lucas to check on a surprise that we have going on, or maybe not. He's a wingman. He's the Iceman. But yeah, it's interesting. While you're checking on that, it's interesting what's going on with movie music, and it's cool to see that these guys known as rock stars to start scoring music and influence music, and they're just as good as anyone else. But I mean, I think a lot of them. And really Social Network, that score just is really, I mean, you feel it. And There Will Be Blood is really, you feel that music. It really makes, a lot of people won't appreciate it enough, and it just really is really good. No problem. Luke is gonna grab his phone, and he has to go upstairs. You want to go on a field trip? Yeah, go on a field trip. Bobby Joe can come in here for a second while you go on a field trip, and we'll take a brief if you want to go do that. But I have more to get to with you for sure.
Like a 5-minute break.
Oh, yeah, but you can smoke. Sure. Hey, so you're watching Hangout Conversations Plus coming up next. I have a little bit more to get to if you have any more questions for Lucas Johnson. Hey, Bobby Joe. So, Bobby Joe, you want to give us an update on the chat room? I saw that Louis Hussey and Crispin Glover have joined us.
Yeah, but you can smoke. Sure. Hey, so...
Hey, that sounds like me. Bobby Joe, you sound like me.
Yeah. Well, not the Crispin Glover, but Bobby McGee.
Hey, Bobby McGee,
Can you
take
hear
your
me?
damn hands off her. Yeah, I hear you. And I see
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You were freaking me out there for a second.
Oh.
Hi, everybody in the chat. I've been chatting with them like crazy. They've been awesome.
Yeah, so it's been pretty freaking cool having you all here for our 5th show, and I'm looking forward to some of you or all of you that we can fit in joining us in Conversations Plus. And this is a pretty epic show. I have a lot more G4s, a lot more to get to with Lucas, and see what's going to happen with some surprises we have in store for you. So, what else is going on, Bobby Joe? Do you want to comment on any of the new changes we talked about? Anything on G Plus that you're noticing while waiting for Lucas to get back? Anything about?
Yeah, I just wanted to put in my 2 cents on the blogs that are talking about the 60% of traffic being lost on G Plus. They misinterpret that data to make it sound like that 60% of the users are dropping out, and that's not the case. I don't know where they're getting their data from, so I can't argue against it, but my opinion is that they're using this negative information to make G Plus sound like it's bad, and it's not. Everybody knows that everybody who's on G Plus knows that it's awesome and can't deny it, and of course, the engagement level is incredibly high, and if people are paying attention to you here, it's because there's so much like going on in the streams of Twitter and the streams of Facebook, and it's just become so easy to ignore. So that's just my take on the whole thing.
No, I totally agree with you. I think that G Plus is way more interactive overall. I think that people are having conversations on just about anything, whether it's something serious or funny, and you could post a picture, you could post 2 words, and there'll be a conversation, and maybe it'll spiral into something else. But with the reshares, the reshare thing is big. I don't really see people resharing as much on Facebook. I try to share some things, but people are very, they don't really share, and I don't think it keeps track of reshares on Facebook either. I don't even know. I don't even know how that all works. I know you can share a reshare on Facebook, but it doesn't really work like Google Plus. And the tagging is much more. Everything is greater here. People are more willing to do more things, and I think circles are a big part of it. On Facebook, people have lists, maybe but they don't use them. They have friends and they have public. But here on Google Plus, with all these different circles, Speaking of, do you have any like funny names for your circles that you want to mention? I know we're gonna have you on. Is there any circle that you can, or is it, what's the funniest name of a circle that you've seen? Hey, welcome back, Lucas. That you can.
I guess the coolest circles that I have a circle called My Awesome Peeps, which sounds so high school, right? But those are like, about 115 people or so that I constantly want to watch for in my stream, and I click on that to get their latest stuff. And then I have a circle called Weird, which is kind of self-explanatory. I've hung out with some interesting people that I'm not sure I want to really engage with, so I call them Weird, just to keep them in their little place.
That's cool. Well, welcome back, Lucas Johnson. Lucas, do you, on the same topic, have you seen, or do you have a circle that you're willing to, people joke around about the circle jerk or whatever, or the jerk circle or whatever. Is there or a circle of one? Is there a circle that that you want to share, that or your own circle of strange
yeah,
name?
I mean, like I did one today, and I this is kind of cool. I started like crowdsourcing like a audio geek kind of circle, I guess. And got a lot of cool people, chiming in and really linking up with a lot of people in my industry that I had never talked to before. And I think that's really the power of Google Plus, is that it's connected me with all these insanely creative people that I would never have met before. And I think that's really cool. I mean, I posted my Audio Geek circle, and it was like at I think it was close to 150, and then within an hour, I had people private messaging me and also messaging me on the post that it grew to like 250 within like maybe a little over an hour, 2 hours, 2-3 hours.
Yeah, but the interaction for sure is much greater, and it's really cool.
Oh, it's just insane. Yeah.
It's really cool. So there's a lot of there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of G4s as I do Peter Brady, or get all Peter Brady on you, which is maybe not before your time, but definitely Louis, who's out there. A lot of G4s, kind of people are trying to figure out the show, what it is, what's going on. I just want to thank everyone again in the live chat room. Basically, it's we have a hangout afterwards. We invite people into the hangout, and we have another show. And then after that's over, we do an epic hangout. Whoever wants to stay in, and actually from a post-show epic hangout that wasn't recorded or live streamed by me, we did a Crispin Glover one time. That was one time after our hangout. We did this Robert Del Rose interview with Peter, where the guy from Boston, and I don't know if you've seen that, but a lot of stuff with Peter McDermott, and a lot of different things that happen, people coming in and out of a hangout. And this hangout that we're in, we're going to switch over to the other forum, just because it's easier to have more people to interview, because of the film strip is easier that way. But 5-6 hours we'll be having this hangout open for, so it's pretty nuts how that happens. Like, you're like, wow, 6-7 hours, yeah. But let me get your hat on. Here we go. I'm gonna go through many. You're gonna be asked like tons of questions. Paul Rustan. Did I say it correct?
Paul's awesome.
He is awesome.
Many props to Paul.
Paul does body paint. And he actually does body paint live. We hope to have him, and it'll be our first set of nipples, I guess, on the show. So that should be interesting for the kids.
I actually just get licensed to licensed-ish. A song for his basically a time lapse of the last chick that he did, and it turned out really cool. I really like it. I like it better than some of the work that was done that paid me a lot more using the same song. So I'm going to use that in the film role instead, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to. It's funny how certain art you create, you don't even think about what you're going to use it for. You think you're doing it for one thing. You're like, wait, but I can use that for this, or I can kind of use it on a reel, or use it for maybe it fits better here, or a piece of it fits better, or it's inspiring. But all right, so here we go, Paul Roussan.
And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah.
No, go ahead. No, speak. No, there's no rules here.
No. I was just gonna.
Take a slurp.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, definitely. Like as soon as I saw what he did with it, I was like, man, that is just it just fit the vibe of everything so well. And it was just. I was proud to be associated with it for sure.
Cool. What kind of coffee are you drinking, by the way? Just so the viewers can know.
I think it's Folgers. It's not actually Tim Hortons. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. You were too busy getting Tim Hortons on running. You were running up and down the stairs all throughout the promo, so you couldn't. Yeah. This guy wouldn't stop. So these are that kind of questions. No right answer. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Ooh. Star Trek. Okay. Maybe old Star Wars though. It depends. Okay. See, I like
could
I
like
like the
both.
Next Generation, but I don't necessarily like Deep Space Nine or Voyager.
I don't think most
but
people
I
like
like the old
Deep-
Star Wars.
I don't think most
Yeah,
people like
exactly.
this.
But the Next Generation, I mean, come on, Captain Picard. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No.
No, hey, I
It's
enjoy
awesome.
Star Wars. I enjoy the original Star Trek. Next Generation's not bad. I mean, I know we have both William Shatner and Will Wheaton, and they kind of Will Wheaton probably posts more than William Shatner does, but William Shatner circles more people, whatever that means. If that helps
Yeah,
floats
that's a measure
your
of any
boat.
kind. Yeah.
Stacey Fraser wants to send you coffee, but I think Stacey Fraser probably has more beer than coffee. That's my guess. But
Hey, she can send me both.
Lucas will accept both, Stacey.
Awesome.
Shirts or
Yeah, Stacy's still cool.
yeah, shirts. I don't know what this is. This for I don't know what this means. Shirts or skins? Do you know what that means? Is that for soccer? I don't know what he means by that. Is that because is that because he paints people naked?
Either.
He wants to know if you prefer people wearing clothes or not. Do you prefer people in Hangouts wearing clothes or no clothes? I don't know.
It depends who the person is, I guess.
Maybe Paul wants to know, like, if you were playing a team sport, and you had to choose between being on the shirts team or the skins team. Do you want to show off your nipple, or would you rather wear clothing? I think that's what maybe the question. It's the weirdest freaking question
I
ever.
guess I'd rather wear clothing. I guess.
He wants to protect his nipples at all costs, don't you know, Paul?
Yeah. Sure.
Here's another one. I feel like we're at. I used to wait tables. I feel like I'm about to ask you a waiting tables question. Would you care for soup or salad with that? Soup or salad?
Salad.
You can see
Salad,
we
okay.
vetted these questions very deeply. DJs or VJs?
DJs.
And now it's like a G5. Hugo Sella helped out with that last one. I probably said his name wrong. Okay. Now Carter Gibson asks Simba or Mufasa. Simba or Mufasa?
Oh, that's a good question, Carter. Wow.
Simba.
Wow.
You don't. You could say both. I mean, there's.
I think Mufasa. I guess.
'cause it's more fun to say
yeah.
Mufasa.
Yeah.
And then Carter asks exams or papers. I don't know why you'd want either one, but I think. I'd rather.
I guess exams. I like practical exams.
Okay. This is a Canadian question. Mooses or Mises?
Moose.
Okay. I think you just say moose, but...
I love moose meat.
Oh yeah, tell us a little about Canadian meat. Is it, you do moose, you do deer, you do all kinds of...
Deer. Partridge.
Partridge.
I actually prefer partridge over chicken.
The
and
partridge family.
We do a lot of hunting
Oh,
ourselves.
I was going to ask, do you? Have you actually hunted and killed? Or you don't... Or...
Of
Yeah,
course, dude.
I don't
Like
know.
I shot my first. Like I shot my first gun when I was like 7, 8 years old. Man.
Oh, that's nice. So what...
So, I mean, we grew up with that,
Right.
right? Because I'm from Northern Ontario, where we use guns to provide food for ourselves, not kill people.
Well, that's always nice.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we do the opposite here in the States.
So I mean, we have lots of guns, but we never think of it as a security risk because.
Oh, Paul, of
Doesn't
course I'm going to ask
cover our
them.
mind.
Paul saying that they were jokes. Of course they were. I mean, I want to include my audience, and I think it's fun to like ask all of them whether they were meant as jokes or not. I mean, it's still kind of funny, right? So why not? Hey, I don't care. It's all good. It's all for the audience. Violin or cello? I think you said your mom's a violin teacher. So,
Cello.
oh wow, really? You prefer you go
Yeah.
across the mom and Mrs. Johnson's crying right
Yeah,
now? Or-
I mean, a chick that can play cello has my heart right away.
all
Definitely.
right, at least you have standards, right? Marco or Polo? I don't know what that means, but that's Joanne Thomas and Scott Wakeman.
Marco,
All
sure.
right, I guess and Joanne Thomas wants to know how the hell does she make a G4? That's that you put four this or that questions together and you type them. Thank you, Joanne Thomas. If that was condescending, I'm sorry. I love it. I love all of you. Come on, I just lost 10 viewers. What? Louis Hussey wants to know Amsterdam or Ibiza. Am I saying that country's name right?
Lisbon?
Is it supposed to say Lisbon? And he just maybe.
I don't know, I
Okay,
don't
let's
see
pretend Lesbos. What? I don't know what he's saying. Help me out, Rhonda. Help.
Amsterdam. Sure.
Amsterdam for the win. Oh, LH Biza. Biza. All right. Hey, I've never been. Have you ever been to Amsterdam?
Nope.
Cool.
No, so I wouldn't know. I'm just you just threw.
My audience is making me sound retarded. I don't know. And I love all retarded people, by the way, including myself, I have in my hands a copy of the top 10 list from David. No, my own G4. Let's see. This one I wrote myself, so it should be easy if I could read it. No. Regular bacon.
I should certainly hope so.
regular bacon or Canadian bacon.
Regular bacon.
Ooh, hangouts or hangouts with extras.
Depending on what I'm doing. For troubleshooting, Hangout with extras is amazing. Like when I'm, helping an artist figure out the system, or just that kind of the shared screen thing without having to do Manicam or Camtwist or Camtasia is definitely very useful. But in terms of actual like stability, I like the other one better. And even the aesthetic, I like the white background instead of having so much black.
Sorry, I was doing my Karnak imitation from Johnny Carson. Karnak. I have a number. See, I have a number, and it's 4. It was terrible.